Hi everyone, it's Helen, the Crimson Cadaverous, wishing you a happy Libra full moon. That's going to peak on April 16th, right before 2 p.m. Central Time. And what I think this full moon is all about is balancing out our priorities based on our heart versus what we think everybody else wants from us. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. And I also think that this full moon is the continuing of the saga between Mars and Venus and the whole transformative dance that they've been going through ever since basically the end of fall last year. So Mars and Venus have been meeting up quite a bit with Pluto, of course, the great revealer, the planet of transformation. And, Mars and Venus represent the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So as we've, seen them meet up with Pluto, Mars met up once with Pluto and Venus actually met up 3 times because she was stationed retrograde during that. So they've been going through again, kind of this transformative dance with Pluto, but also with each other. Now there are a couple of signs ahead of Pluto, but, they're kind of still in the same sign together, although Venus is now getting a little more ahead of Mars. So, of course, she's kind of experiencing things first, and then Mars is going to kind of, go after her. So, basically, with this full moon, this is in the sign of Libra, which, of course, is ruled by Venus. The last new moon we had was the Aries new moon, which is ruled by Mars. So, that was kind of the first new moon of the astrological year. It's us kind of coming out of, all this transformative hibernation energy of the winter, and everything that was going on with Pluto, with Mars and Venus, and just kind of reigniting, but also, kind of acknowledging the fact that we're still transforming. So all the kind of things that we, were looking to transform during this winter as Mars and Venus were sitting with Pluto, we are now kind of, really sitting with and seeing how to actually live with those changes. So the Aries new moon kind of ignited that. And now we have the Libra full moon to come in and kind of balance things out. Like I said, we're looking at our priorities, and prioritizing things with our heart, things we actually have our heart in versus things we think we just kind of have to do or are supposed to do. So I definitely think, we really are going to be forced to look at that. Libra's going to come in, that Libra energy with the moon is going to come in kind of soft and be nudging us, are you sure you really want to do this? Are you sure you really want your energy there? But this Libra full moon is squaring Pluto. Again, we've got that Pluto energy coming in. So Pluto, definitely wants what's best for us. I say that all the time. Pluto wants what's best for us. But a lot of times that's at odds with what we want, because we kind of want something comfortable. We want things to be secure and stable. And sometimes Pluto's what you're doing is not right. You haven't been getting the signs. Got to kind of pull that rug out from underneath you to get you to pay attention. So basically the thing with Pluto is it wants what's best for us, but sometimes that can be a slap in the face when it's not exactly what we thought we needed to be doing. So that's definitely a dynamic that can come up during this full moon. And again, Mars and Venus, all those energies have kind of been playing around with Pluto. So all of that, is just kind of a continuation of what we've already been experiencing. So next new moon is going to be in Taurus, and that's going to be on the 30th, the end of this month. So it's going to continue on the Venus energy. So we've got Libra with the beauty and the balance. And then we'll have Taurus new moon, with all the tangibility that comes with Taurus, and, anything to do with, anything to do with security definitely will come up during that new moon. And maybe we've kind of transformed the way we think about security in our lives. And then, we're going to kind of, see a little bit of a completion to that saga next month with the Scorpio Scorpio full moon. And so Scorpio's ancient ruler was Mars. And then, of course, we discovered Pluto about 100 years ago. And that became the ruler of Scorpio. So we're actually seeing kind of a completion of the Mars energies that we were talking about, but also the Pluto energies that we were talking about. Full moons are about completion. So next month, in about a month, we're going to see that Scorpio full moon that, I think is going to be kind of like, again, continuation, maybe completion, sort of. You can see it as that. Everything's kind of ending and beginning. But kind of like a completion of this kind of saga that we've seen between Mars and Venus and those energies being transformed with the Pluto energies. So again, I definitely think that that's actually the main theme, in my opinion, of this full moon is, just kind of continuing that saga. And again, where's our balance? Are our priorities balanced? Are we throwing our energy and our efforts into things that don't speak to our heart, that we don't feel right about, that don't, make our soul sing? Like Libra is an energy that wants things to be beautiful. It definitely wants us to be happy. So I definitely think that's something that we are going to be meant to consider during this full moon, and we've perhaps already been considering it as the energies have been building up. We've also had some very heavy energies, with Pisces, with that Jupiter-Neptune conjunction that we saw on Tuesday, but we're still kind of feeling those energies. We've got Venus and Mars also in Pisces. So, there's definitely that like kind of like soft, watery energy, but also with, like the intuitive aspect to it that we're kind of dealing with while we're still actually in Aries season. I don't know if anybody remembers that we're actually in Aries season right now. I wore the red to remind us all of that, of course, but we're red anyways. But we are still in Aries season, so there's still like kind of like that fire that we're working with that we're not necessarily. It's kind of in the background, actually. Usually Aries season is kind of in your face, but we've kind of been inundated with these Pisces energies. So anyways, I definitely think there's a lot going on with this full moon, but I think the thing that we need to focus on is balancing out our priorities in life. Thinking about the things that are draining our energy, and are they worth the drain? Sometimes some things we got to put a lot into something, and it takes a lot of energy, but is it worth it? Is it something that is really going to, advance us in a way that we want to, or is it something we think we need to do? So that's definitely something to think about in this full moon. I wanted to pull some cards. I'm actually going to pull from my Golden Girls deck, which I always think is super fun. Oops, I'm like throwing some cards around. Maybe those are the ones we need to look at. I was actually going to show you that I had the sun at the bottom, which of course is Rose, and she's like super happy. So it's almost like kind of like a reminder that like we can still be happy in all the chaos that's going on. But we also have Rose as the Fool. So always a reminder that, if things are ending, things are always going to come to a beginning as well. We're always ending, we're always beginning. And if we approach life kind of like the Fool, like in a very happy way, kind of like the sun and the Fool together, where we're shining brightly and we're seeing things as just like new fun opportunities to learn something new, we're going to be a lot happier in life than if we're looking at every kind of challenge that comes our way, every new beginning as like a daunting thing. Life is about new beginnings, but it's also about endings. So we always want to honor that. We also got the Queen of Swords. So that's actually a perfect card for the Libra full moon. So I was talking about kind of like reprioritizing, and in my opinion, what the Queen of Swords is about, she's definitely about intellectual and communication, and just the way that we like kind of like approach the world on a mental level. And I definitely think she's here to remind us that you need to keep a sharp mind and kind of cut away at anything that's distracting you, cut away at anything that's like keeping you from being able to see the world clearly. Because she's able to do that. She may be, a little cold sometimes because she doesn't let things get like overly emotional, but she cuts away at the bullshit. And I think that's really important right now, that we need to, even as soft as Libra is, it is still an air sign, and, that's represented by the swords. Cutting away at what is no longer serving us. We also have the 8 of Pentacles, reminding us, okay, like I talked about, we're going into the Taurus new moon, all the tangible things, all the things that we've been working towards. I think we need to ask ourselves, is everything that we're working towards, is it what we want to put our efforts into? I said that before. So this is definitely a reminder that, making sure that the effort that we're putting in is the effort that we need to be putting into this. So I definitely think this is definitely a full moon, like I said, for balancing. It's for reprioritizing. And I think, again, it's just a step along the way with this saga between Mars and Venus, and like they're, the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and they're growing up right now. And that's a huge transformation. They're going through some growing pains a little bit, and that means we're all kind of going through that a little bit. So I just want to remind everybody, we are transforming right now. We are kind of in, a brand new realm almost, there's so much that we've all gone through, over the last 2 years plus whatever. I just want to remind people, be kind to people. Everybody's kind of on a different, level of their journey. And, you don't need to argue with people if, they don't agree with you. You can just remove yourself from the situation. And I think that's another thing that the Libra full moon wants to remind us. So I want to wish you all a happy Libra full moon, a happy end of Aries season, and if anyone would like to book a tarot reading with me, please get in contact with me. And if you have any questions, please reach out as well. But I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful full moon. Goodbye.